Yeah, you be dropping
PKN,
bits now.
episode 174. All right, are we leading with toddler
Mr.
killing?
TJ Miller.
TJ, we're gonna leave with TJ. All right, yeah. So who? I could lay it out there. I only read it briefly. Does someone really follow it?
I mean, I don't know how much there is to really follow. If you read it more thoroughly, you can spell it
Yeah,
out.
go
My
ahead.
understanding is just that he harassed and apparently raped, which is a step above, and in the midst of some sexing, bopped this girl in the face a couple times, like punched her in the mouth.
There is a whole
So-
other version of this story.
Oh, okay. The one
Yeah.
that he's
Oh, I
saying.
bet there is.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
he would.
apparently, TJ Miller and this woman dated for a while, like in college, and they did some kinky shit. Like he choked her during sex, and she's like, I would like he has her pinned and choked, and they're having sex. By the way, repeatedly. Like it's not like he raped her and left her on the side of the road. Like they had some kind of relationship, and she's like, I would just like look at him and try to convey that I didn't like it. I'm like, really? That was. You didn't say pineapple or something? Like, I don't know. But she said that she's like, she couldn't talk, couldn't move, whatever. And he's like, this is not true. This lady has been following me for ages. Everyone in my like personal circle knows this person. And they like, my wife knows. It's a shame. It is sad. She's been saying about me for some time now. And that is not who I am. It devalues all the Me Too movement of people who legitimately have had sexual assault against them. That is not what she and I had. That's TJ's side of it. So he has denied it. And
Well, that's interesting.
To be
so
honest-
she's been like a stalker a bit. Like,
Yes.
won't not letting him leave. Like,
Yeah.
or not letting him fully distance.
exactly. And the thing that's compelling to me, like to tie it into the Matt Lauer one, right? It's like, oh my God, it was so terrible. He bent me over the desk, locked the door, fucked me, etc. Right. Repeatedly for months and months and months. Bitch, what you did is not victimhood. What you did is sleeping to the top.
Is
You fucking
career
whore.
advancement in a way. You know,
Yeah.
fool me once with your under the desk button, shame on me. You know, fool me multiple times.
Yeah.
with your
I'm
under the
just
desk
a
blocking
fucking
button.
home wrecking whore trying to sleep my way to the top. Right? That is a
Poor
look,
Matt Lauer.
I don't no, Matt Lauer's a
That's the thing.
cheater.
No,
Fuck him
but
too.
Woody's
but
right. Like that's the thing is we've thrown away any semblance of differentiation between any level of harassment or assault. Like Matt Damon got in trouble fucking yesterday. Like I saw him trending on Twitter and I was like, what did Matt Damon do other than be friends with that smarmy douche Affleck? And I clicked it and it was like and it was just Matt Damon, like apparently like people were outraged over a quote of him being like, well guys, there's a spectrum of this. Like when you lump in a guy who like slaps a butt with a guy who jumps out of the bushes and rapes you or drugs you and rapes you, like you're really not doing any favors to the victims of the more intense crime. And people were like, oh, so so now you're saying that it doesn't matter. It's like, no, and you know that's not what I'm saying, but you're so up on your ivory tower that any question of any accusation whatsoever is like you can't use common sense anymore at all. Like you have to just buy it.
MSNBC of all places phrased it in a way that really clicked with me. They said there are cases, there is black and there is white, right? And in those places we all agree, like violent rape over here, loving relationship over there, and then somewhere in the middle there is gray, and that is where the conversation needs to take place. And I'm like, yes, you know, you've got guys like Rory Moore, who's, I forget which was good and bad, black or white, all the way close to white, who's, you know, like dating little girls and putting their 14-year-old's hands on his cock on top of his underwear or whatever. That's pretty
Not
bad.
so bad.
Right? And then you've got
He asked their parents.
all the
Yeah.
way on the other side of it, like Matt Lauer, cheating on his wife, yes. But, you know, she's acting like she was a real victim in this whole thing. And she fucked him over the course of 6 months, dozens of times in his office, in his house, on top of a roof with the mouse, whatever. And,
Yeah.
you know, like green eggs and ham I was going with. But
I mean,
anyway.
I would put, if what you're saying about TJ Miller is like true and that like he has been trying to stave this lady off.
Yeah.
And that like this was a consensual relationship from 2001 where it does get kinky. Like, are we going to pretend that women don't like that? Like, that's not a very common form. The 50 Shades of Grey is the biggest selling book of all
Right.
time. It was the fastest selling book, the Bible. Like Jesus was like, God, this like I'm not gonna be #1 on Amazon at this rate. Like
I really
my
should have
book.
choked Mary Magdalene a little, and maybe
I should have given her a little force grip or something like that, or whatever he can do. But like that reality exists. That's our reality. Like being bound, being dominated and tied is probably arguably the most common female sexual fantasy. And we have to, when this comes up and some guy says, no, she wanted me to choke her, she wanted me to do this, we have to be like, well, that's a little far-fetched. Name one book that made the author billions of dollars over the course of 4 months. Name one in the last couple of years. And then name a second one being the sequel, and the third one being the sequel.
The whole tie-up thing, like, that's not kinky to me. Yeah, I don't know. Like, everyone does that at some point, right? Who hasn't done a little, tying her hands and whatever? Like,
I think it just depends on, how tied up are we talking? Have you learned the Japanese art of not tying yet?
No.
Because then we're verging on a little kid. Like, are you suspending bitches in your living room? Like, has that happened
That's
yet?
a kink. If you guys both like it, knock yourself out. I have seen girls on Reddit who are tied artfully and symmetrically, both arms and legs, and it's practically like they made a rope dress or something. But
you've also seen the other ones where like the tits are tied up so tight that it looks like just a zit that's about to pop. Like,
I love that.
Who's enjoying this?
right.
Hey, come on! I like
don't
that,
like
and I
that.
know girls that do as well.
Oh, I'm sure they
So-
like it. I'm just saying visually, I'm not. That's
That's a little deeper into the bondage thing, but everyone's gone to the light side of it, where you just take your tie off and put her hands together, right? Like that's
it's very that's the light side.
yeah.
But the point is, it shouldn't matter how much
you pop her a few in the mouth.
Back of the head.
I didn't read the full article about
Can't leave
T.J.
marks.
Miller, but if that's the case, that is a damn shame. And like I guess if it is like that, eventually it'll come out as like, hey, this chick is kind of a liar and manipulative and just taking advantage of a social movement right now. Like, do you think we're at the point yet where Me Too is collapsing again?
Well, my challenge is this.
not yet.
What I've observed is the people who more successfully defend themselves against this deny, right? Al Franken went with the, look, the more extreme stuff, the stuff we'd really be offended by. I don't remember that. But I take your thoughts very seriously, and I'm worried about you. And the Me Too thing is something that weighs in with me. And everyone was like, "You sound guilty, bitch." But the guy,
like that's not the way innocent people explain things generally. Like,
but well, what if you're just born with lots of white guilt? Then yeah. But the people who just say, "What? No, Trump is like, I never met her." We're like, we've got photos with you guys together. Well, I meant I never met the other ones, right?
That's not even compelling for me about Trump or Franken, because they've been famous for decades, and of course, like if some guy said, Al Franken, I met you, and he's like, I've never met you, and it's like, here, a picture of me outside of a comedy club when you performed there in 1982. Hundreds of people took your picture that night. He's like, are you shitting me? I didn't meet you. You showed up, and they took there. He's like, I never met her. Oh, she went to the Apprentice fan club meeting. I mean, are you fucking shitting me? Like
the context of the picture matters. You're right. If it's outside the Trump hotel, then that might not mean very much. They could have been waiting at the door for him.
If they're in a hot
They're
tub,
like a Yankees game. She's behind him in the crowd.
Yeah.
Count.
Hot tub's a great example, though. If they're in a hot tub together, I was going to say like on a party at a couch together. So they met. That's the thing that happened. They met. So yeah. But whatever.
You're right. Your initial point of the gradient needing to be discussed more is like, it's almost like the people who are pushing it so hard where it's like, no, just believe everything. Like they feel like if they give an inch that everybody's going to take a mile, which I'm sure some people will. But at the end of the day, it's like, well, you need to give that inch so that not every accusation is suddenly brought under scrutiny, or people go, oh, well, now you're saying this person was raped, but last time you brought someone up who didn't even, it turned out they were lying, or it turned out that she was just T.J. Miller's kinky sex partner.
Yeah.
Like it just does a disservice to the actual people who are victimized. So that's pretty shitty. Oh, did you hear about that Supersize Me fucking creep? This guy, I guarantee, is a creep. Morgan Spurlock. He's the liar who made that documentary about McDonald's. that documentary was bunk, entirely made up. An actual nutritionist or a dietitian did a documentary afterward. I say nutritionist and dietitian because I don't recall which one is the reputable one. I think it's dietitian. But the reputable one did it as well and was like, I took so much umbrage with Morgan Spurlock's documentary. I'm going to eat McDonald's for 30 days and show that I can lose 25 pounds. And then he did. And he didn't do it with the salads. He did it with just like portion control. And
I knew that was bullshit myself because I eat the equivalent of McDonald's for years at a time, you know, like forget a month, and you know, I didn't die or anything.
My favorite part was when he called his brother. He was like 20 days into it or something, and he wanted to quit. He's like, I don't think I can make it anymore. I'm sweating. I'm exhausted. He's like, dude, people do this for decades. You're fine. You know, you've been doing it for 3 weeks, and somehow that sank into me. I'm like, yeah, that's true. Actually, like it's a bad diet. I'll admit that, but let's not pretend that you're risking death.
Yeah, no. But this dude, who's known for making kind of spurious documentaries, came out preemptively and was like, you know, I was thinking about all these people being accused, and I just, in my memory, I'm like, you know what? I may not even be one of the good guys. Like, I can't really hammer it down exactly here or there where I may have hurt women in the past, but I'm sure I have. And every man needs to be coming forward to apologize about this. I had sex with a woman years ago, and I thought it was great. And then I heard from a friend of hers that she thought that it was kind of skeevy. And I thought, man, I'm not very good at reading these situations. This is a problem that men need to be accountable for. Men as a whole just need to get this under control. And it's like, you slimy, skeevy, probably a rapist, allegedly at some point. Like, you, only a guilty person would come out and try and lump all men into this. It's like, no, the reason you're seeing it in every man out there is because you're that fucking guy. You're the creep, projecting your creepiness onto every other dude out there. Like, no innocent people come out and preemptively apologize in a roundabout way. He was trying to hedge his bet. Innocent
I don't know. Here's the thing. So like, I've had these thoughts, like, am I a good guy or a bad guy, right? Always thought of myself as a good guy. There was this one time I was at a party. I drank. She drank. We hooked up. We kissed. I tried to touch her boob. And then she did this like elbow thing saying, we're going to stop at kissing. All right. That was the whole episode, you know, tongue kissing, whatever. And then her friends the next day were like, you tried to touch her boob. And I'm like, yeah, you know, like I was going to keep going until she said not to go anymore. That's always been my method. Is that somehow bad? But they acted like I was some sort of rapist. And it was like, no, is that not how this even goes? Right. And first kiss, then boob.
Totally wrong.
Yeah.
You're fine. Like the whole point. Now they propagate this nonsense where it's like, you want to ask if you can grab a girl's tit. You want to ask, would you like to go to bed now, my lady? I've got a series of forms for you for that. Oh, no, it won't take more than 20 minutes. I hope you're still wet by then. You know, like no, like that's not the way. That's not the way any of this shit works. If you want to just hear the crinkling of dry fall leaves from a woman's pants, ask explicitly for consent to do something, because there's no better way to elucidate to her that, oh, what a not confident, weaselly loser. Like that.
Tell that to Matt Lauer.
Am I talking to right here? Like it's ridiculous. Like there's so much nuance to sexuality and to reading people. Like you're not.
I have another story where they made me out like a bad guy, and I'm like,
interesting. Multiple stories. Keep going.
I know. Here's the other one. I think Taylor's going to be on my side too. Well, I tried to hook up with a girl, and I think we did. I think we hooked up. I might have even touched a boob. Like, that's as far as it went. It wasn't like a big thing. And then they're like, dude, she was 13. And I said, yeah, I'm 14. Like, is this so wild? And they're like, oh my God, how could you? And I'm like, this is why I try to do this all the time. You know? So 14-year-old, 13-year-old, all right, I was a year older, but dude.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is just how people mature. You would have been, fighting in a war for some king 200 years ago, and you would have never even gotten to grab a tip, my lord, not unless he invited you to the main feast, which never fucking happens.
Yeah, but she had like an older sister or something that was like in the same location or at the party or whatever, and yeah, they acted like I was a predator for kissing a girl 1 year younger than me, and it was that's fair game, I thought.
Under the shirt or over the shirt?
I think between the shirt and the bra.
Safe.
Okay.
Yeah. See, we're getting dangerously close to a world, and some people already live there, where men are just supposed to be able to not only read women's mind with this, but we're supposed to be able to read in an anticipatory manner as to how they'll feel about this 20 years from now, apparently. When they're like, talking to their husband at some point, and her husband's like, so you have a lot of sexual partners before me? And they're like, oh, just like 60. And he's like, you whore. And she's like, well, only like 3 of them weren't rape. And he's like, well, that salvages a little bit of my honor here. All right. I don't know. It's just a silly reality where like, and most people don't live in this reality either. It's like I feel like a smaller segment of like hyper feminist, like hyper leftist type. Not even
so many things are that way.
Because otherwise, every precinct in the country would be packed full of rapists. But like most women know that.
Can I ask a Tinder question for either of you, both of you? You're on Tinder. You hook up. She's coming to your house, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna Netflix and chill or whatever. Has she already consented? Is this a slam dunk, or is there is there a chance that she actually wants to watch Netflix? Like, where are we on the spectrum?
It's just another thing where you play it by ear. I'm sure Kyle will bolster this. Like when they show up, it's not like a prostitute. It's a girl who's coming on like who's coming on a fun date. And so like you'll come over and hang out, and if you don't feel a click, or you don't feel like anything is moving forward, like you might just make out, and then that might be it, because neither one of you feels like it should move forward. But you just read it by the moment, and more often than not, like women have 50,000 matches on here. The hottest guy in human history doesn't have as many matches on this as Rosie O'Donnell would, because there are just so many men who will just.
I have to believe you're exaggerating, at least a little on that spectrum. Rosie O'Donnell, have you seen her? Do you know what she looks like?
Some of these bitches, man, like they're enormous, but and I guarantee they get whatever they're looking for the most part. But like you just play it by ear, as with any kind of encounter. Like if you read, oh, she pulled back a little bit, she's not comfortable with that. Okay, that's fine. We'll just make out and then watch this. Or oh wow, she's acting very aggressive and giving a lot of signs. I guess she made up her mind. I'm going to get some dick, and I'm going to go tell my girlfriends about it later.
Yeah, like she just undid her belt buckle. I like my chances.
Yeah.
She just had too much cheese.
Jesus.
No, I want her to undo my belt buckle. Yeah.
She's just loosening it up a little so she can have some more provolone.
Be double sure. See if she undoes your belt buckle. That's
what I've been doing. I've been texting Netflix and cheese, and they assume it's a typo, but it's really just a cheese board and Netflix. Anyway, Kyle, same thing. You play it by ear.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but although like it's rare that someone comes over and then it depends it depends on the talk that's taking place before she comes over. Like if it's a really spur of the moment thing and she's just like, yeah, I'll come over, sure, let's meet, then it's up in there a little bit. But if you've really already laid stuff out and discussed scenarios and explained that you are a level 4 knot tire and that you could get your Eagle Scout badge at this point, she's probably DTF, and you're gonna quickly. The Netflix is in my bedroom anyway, right? So we have to get in bed to even watch the Netflix.
Good move, Taylor. You've got to remove televisions from non-bedrooms.
See that? I guess you're right. I need to only put it. See, like I've had it where it was so forward that like I was going too slow, where I was like, hey, you want to have a drink or something? Just like being polite. Like when the fucking construction guy comes in to fix something, I'll be like, you want a water or something? But obviously I was like, hey, you want a beer or something? And she was like, is that really what you want to do? And I was like, well, I guess not then. And so we just went right into the bedroom and got going. And I was like, wow, what an expeditious, industrious, and I think intelligent.
I pictured Taylor's television, or Kyle's, doesn't matter, in like the sex room. Like you close it, and there on the back of the door, there's like whips and bondage and a gimp suit and something else, and there's a television there with 2 sex swings just hanging from the ceiling, swaying to and fro.
Or we're gonna swing together.
Well,
if Woody ever goes back to single life. First of all,
I'll need a touch-up.
Here's something for you. Don't call it the sex room. Just call it the bedroom. Because even if that girl who had just tried to initiate it in my bedroom more quickly, if I'd said, all right, let's make our way to the sex room, she'd be like, I've got to fucking go because there's other women tied up under the bed in there. Like,
There's no bed, just a pair of swings.
just a pair of swings.
And Kyle's not picturing.
After this, you have to push me. Yeah.
It's a high risk game of sex, kind of like those stress relief balls. You know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It broke. I told you. Second swing, it broke. It broke.
Get out of the house. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
New topic? Oh,
go ahead.
I don't know. I was just gonna go on to this mom shoots toddler to death thing. So here's it.
There was more to the story.
Yeah, well, I'm sure the toddler was asking for it, but here's the story. It's on Fox News. I look at a lot of Fox lately because I want to see every side of the story. Anyway,
she's cute.
Yeah, well, her before picture is cute. But
she was cute.
So you see those marks on her neck? Let me show other people too.
Is that where the toddler attacked her?
She shot the toddler and then tried to commit suicide with a knife, but she was not successful. I really feel like she wasn't committed to the suicide. You know, she had a gun right there, right? She could have ended her own life. Instead, she just scratched up her neck a bit, called it good.
That's true.
So is that the before picture of her?
The before is on the left, I would assume, unless she's a quick healer.
Unless she did Prison Makeover Edition.
That she was not going hard in the paint with that knife to try and kill herself. I like, if you're crazy enough to shoot your own 2-year-old boy to death, then you're crazy enough to feign a suicide attempt in anticipation of trying to get off on a mental disorder.
Hang on a minute. All right, so here's just me imagining this. Mm-hmm. If she used to look like the picture on the left, and then in the last 2 years of just having a toddler, she's basically become one of the faces of meth. I could understand given the, putting the kid down, right? Because she used to be very cute. I used to date a girl and kind of know a girl that looked a lot better than the picture on the left, but still the picture on the left is very cute. Very cute.
I mean, you're comparing the best picture they have of her, like a nice makeup kind of LinkedIn professional photo, with the right one, which is probably like a couple hours after she stabbed herself in the neck.
Yeah.
And killed a child. And she doesn't have makeup on there. She didn't take the time to gussy herself up before she murdered her child.
She really should have. Here's where I am on this. I think on the right, if she gussied herself up, she's actually prettier. I think she lost a little weight. She's thinner. She has better bone structure. Yeah, look at the chubby cheek she has on the left. And on the right,
out of here.
Thinned out some.
You're outrageous.
There's not a chubby cheek at all.
Yeah, that woman on the left, like, she's hot on Tinder, and then she shows up, and you're like, yeah, you'd look better 15 lower.
Oh, you're so wrong about this. She's got nice cheeks.
Let's all square up, though. I would fuck either one of them.
Even with the scars on her neck and everything.
I'm not saying I'll do it in the same room as the child. I'm just saying that, give her a week of cool down time, a little healing. Mm-hmm. I would.
Yeah,
and you would too.
Yeah, you need to. I know if there's a gun at the bedside, that's the side you take.
Actually, no, she would be the perfect excuse to actually break out some bondage equipment. To be like, all right, we're keeping you away from anything sharp during this, because we've already learned I don't trust you. Yeah.
Did she give a reason for shooting?
The article is really thin. Basically, she shot the kid. The kid was dead. And they found her all cut up and stuff because of her self-inflicted knife wounds. And then the rest of it is like, I can't believe she did it. I don't know what would motivate her. I don't understand how her mother could do it. You hear about it.
Oh, come on. We all understand. I mean, you can look at those pictures, and I think you get painted a very clear picture of why she did this. That child was ruining her. That child was ruining her like a fucking meth addiction. It's clear. Look.
I bet she was addicted to meth. And that may have led her to shoot her child. Because the kid just wouldn't stop crying, and she was trying to, dig a hole in the yard, and Tucker!
She used to be very nice looking, and this child had stolen that from her. She's only 26, Taylor. Keep that in mind. That's a 26-year-old girl. Yeah. She looks 38.
38?
Wow,
No,
you
she
know what?
doesn't.
Yeah.
Although
I think
I'd
I
take
look-
32 if you told me.
I definitely look younger than her in that right photo. Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have any makeup on either.
Right?
Yeah, my skin's definitely better.
But you're 26.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, slow.
Yeah.
Her hair's just a mess.
Yeah.
She hasn't had time to color it or like really even properly wash it for days.
That's all I think it is, just not washed.
Yeah, because of that fucking child. See, it all comes full circle. This is why you want a pro-choice young lady who has seen pictures like this. This is the faces of meth for early pregnancy. That's what this is. They need to put this picture on a billboard and be like, abort? Question mark? Like this is a clear cut.
Isn't that like literally a 10th trimester that you're advocating abortion for that?
It was a toddler. I think he's
It
into
is
like
too.
the 30s.
Like, she's like, no,
Oh, wait,
fucking, like,
trimester.
until the words come out, you're allowed to kill the kid. Like, based on this girl's opinion, like that. No, but who knows? Maybe that's where the pro-choice movement's headed, all the way up to 5.
Was 24, right? So there's 4 trimesters I'm sorry, the kid was 24 months. So there's 4 trimesters in a year.
So like
she
8,
had
9, 10, 11.
8
trimesters.
plus 3, yeah, 11th trimester. Yeah, you were about right. Wow.
It's close. Yeah. You'd think I've thought about killing babies after birth with that kind of quick math. It's got to be either drugs or mental illness. Because, like, how
Or a
rare
baby.
is it that a mother just shoots her kid to death, right? And meth is
Usually they just drive them in a car into a lake, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Or
That's
in the
fair.
bathtub. Lots of moms kill their
Oh.
children.
Yeah. Or SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome.
Also known as shut the fuck up
Yeah.
syndrome.
God. Oh, I'm gonna shake you. Yeah. Like that's.
That's
shake the
shaken baby syndrome. Yeah.
SBS.
Yeah.
But that leads quickly to sudden infant death syndrome in most situations. As you
Yeah.
rattle that little avocado brain back and forth on the soft skull.
My neck
I
popped when I
wonder-
did that.
How many SIDS cases are murdering parents?
85.
I
90%.
bet more than we thought.
Not more than Kyle thought at 90%. I mean, Jesus Christ.
I mean, more than I thought, not more than Kyle thinks. I mean, maybe like 10%, 5%.
Depends. It's
Like
hard to
if
say.
the parents have.
Oh, we lost.
I'm trying to find some sudden infant death syndrome. Sudden infant death syndrome. Oh, did you lose me?
Nah, you're
just
back.
for a
You
moment, you're
slow
not
down a little.
moving.
No, I'll shut up for a sec.
No,
till I come
actually,
back.
you're perfect. You're good now.
You're-
You've already come back. So I'm trying to more topics. I pay so much attention to politics that I have to actively work, like not to bring it to the show as much as I'm inclined to. But it does look like a tax bill is getting passed today. There are parts of it I like, parts of it I don't. I don't know if people hear about that.
I like the vast majority of it. I don't like how it has no plan in there to deal with spending, but I guess that would be like a spending plan later, because it's like, if you're going to decrease taxes for everyone, you kind of got to decrease spending. And the big things there are, Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, and military.
Enslave the
Most
Mexicans.
conservatives are like, oh no, we can cut it all with the military, but it's well, it is getting out of control, guys. Like, we gotta, cull that spending as well. Like, that's, I think 2/3 of our budget is Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, but of that remaining third, military's got to be a lot.
I thought military was just over half. Now I could be wrong, and
I don't think so. I don't think it's that high, because I know that the majority of our federal budget goes to entitlements and Medicare, Medicaid. But yeah, I like what I've read about the tax bill. It lowers taxes for 80% of people. Only high income, like very high income people are kind of getting stung with it. And even then, some of them aren't, depending on how they make their money. The big win with it is lowering the corporate tax rate to 21% from 35%, which makes us suddenly like instantly more competitive with Europe, which is great.
that is the big
because,
win.
like,
yeah, there's I guess we'll
As a
talk about
business
it a little bit. So
Yeah, we don't have to get super.
but the deal is this. The United States, they keep saying we have the highest corporate taxes. We don't. We have the fourth highest corporate taxes, which still not where you want to be. And I've seen a lot of this up close when I worked at Cisco. I actually worked on a project where they took our point of sale system and moved it outside of America so that we could avoid American taxes. Cisco wanted to expand in America, and we borrowed money. Cisco had like 40 billion in cash with a B. That's a lot. And they took out like whatever, a $20 million loan in America because they didn't want to repatriate that money. They didn't want to take that money from somewhere in Europe or what have you and bring it to America because then they'd have to pay taxes on it. This is what's happening. Apple, Cisco, these giant companies have billions and billions, collectively trillions of dollars outside of America so that they can avoid U.S. taxes. And that just makes it a little more appealing to grow outside of America because that's where the cash is. If you try to do it inside, then you have to pay tax on that money. It's too much. And then there's corporate inversions. Maybe people have heard that term, but some tiny little, 30 company or 30 person company will buy Train air conditioners. I'm pulling out examples out of my head, Milwaukee Tools or what have you. And now their headquarters is over in Ireland where the taxes are low. And they just do this to avoid U.S. taxes. America is a great place to do business. There's a tremendous amount of wealth here. But when companies are shipping their headquarters outside of America just to skip out on taxes, there might be something wrong with your tax system. So
Yep.
I think it's good that they got the corporate taxes back in line. The caps on mortgage deductions and state and local taxes, I think is pretty much immoral. Like, I don't like that. I feel this is the first time I feel like people are like, okay, you become president, right? And even though only half of the country voted for you, you're president of the entire country, right? Obama did that, Bush did that. Every president in my lifetime, once they got in, they're like, look, I'm going to represent all of you. But this tax code has stuff in it that really fucks over a couple of blue states, the ones that are expensive to live in, like New York and California. And they're like, well, fuck, we don't, they're not voting for me anyway, so they can suck a dick. And I don't like that in a tax policy. So I feel like it's wrong. And by the way, these are the giver states. New York, New Jersey, California, they pay a lot more in taxes than they get in return in the road dollars and whatever. The taker states are usually the red ones, like Oklahoma and Kentucky and stuff like that. They also have low state taxes and low housing prices. So it's kind of screwing over the producers, the givers of taxes, and handing it to the red states. And
I don't like the argument of the blue giver, red taker thing, because all those areas that do need assistance in red states are blue areas. It's the cities that need that federal assistance overwhelming. Like Missouri, the only two areas in this entire state that get a lot of assistance are St. Louis, because it's run like a shithole, and to a much, much lesser extent, Kansas City, because Kansas City is run much
anywhere
better.
There's farming, right?
And subsidies there. Yeah, I don't enjoy that either. Definitely don't like that. I don't like
anywhere there's highways.
Corn subsidies. Well, I mean, the highway thing doesn't really make sense as some sort of subsidy. Like that is a federal thing. Like federal does pay for roads.
But I'm saying that, they pay less in taxes.
It's mostly state that pays for roads throughout the state, and then federal assists on interstates, right?
Yeah, that is true.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And so for example, this could be out of date. This used to be true. They decide how much the federal government pays towards maintenance on interstate by mile, right? Which maybe at first blush that sounds fair, but then you realize places like Michigan and New York and Ohio have way more wear because their weather sucks than like Oklahoma. You lay down road, and 20 years later, that road is still awesome. Yeah. In Michigan,
unless a hurricane, or not hurricane, it's a tornado.
That's okay. Okay, that's true. But in Michigan, you lay down road, you plow it for the next 20 years, and it's an absolute nightmare. And so it's almost like, look, I still lie. Anyway, now we're getting deep into it, but I feel like they screwed over blue states because fuck them, and I haven't seen that before, so it's something I don't like.
Okay. The only ones I've seen where they get fucked is with that mortgage deduction thing, and that's only in houses that cost more than $750,000, I think.
They raised that. Yeah. It used to be there was no mortgage, but by the version that's going to pass, you're right. It's 750. And by the way, I think that's 750 in loan, right? So how big a house are you buying if you're borrowing 750, right? Like you say $800,000 house. yeah, but hopefully that's not your first home, right? Like you've probably traded up a couple times. You've got more than 50 grand to put down when you're getting into that thing, right?
Rush Limbaugh was talking about this. He's like, "What if you got a $2 million home?" Just like, "Fuck you, Rush, get out of here."
That was funny though when I saw like Feinstein or some Democratic senator who was like, "This tax is horrible for poor people. Also, you can't deduct your $1 million homes." Like this, and it was like, who the fuck are you talking to?
Yeah, there's an argument to be made. Like in places like California, $1 million home is not amazing. Near Silicon Valley, I know what they look like, and but whatever. There are parts of the tax bill I like, parts I don't like, and
as far as like the blue state contributions, like I believe they count those contributions before, as far as like personal income tax, they count that prior to the money the federal government gives back to you, because California they pay a fuck ton in taxes, but they also have the highest deductions across, if anywhere in the country. And so like they set these rules where you have to pay a ton of taxes for this and that and the other thing, but you are also allowed to deduct a much higher percentage than you are in a red state, because there just is a lot more loopholes for you to do it there. I'll have to look up and find.
In federal
exactly
taxes, though, we're talking about the same thing, right? They all play by the same rules at the federal level.
Oh, no, at the state level, though, I'm talking about.
There's
because
more deductions.
California wants, there's way more state deductions in California, and those deductions are often kind of subsidized in a roundabout way by the federal government giving money back. So they say you need to pay, a fuck ton of taxes, and then they go get an accountant who is, man, being an accountant there must be dope. And then they
get
come
all
up
the
with a ton of
bitches.
stuff. Dude, you know what?
No one cleans up on Tinder like those bad boy CPAs.
I was gonna say I matched with a girl who was a computer. This is a good question.
This is
for
a
you,
better
Woody.
topic. Please carry on.
She's a computer. She's a computer scientist. What the fuck is she? Something with computers. Something with computers, at least. A software engineer.
Okay.
Software engineer. And I don't know anything about that. What is a funny joke or a pun or something that a software engineer would get? And then I'll internalize that and decide if I want to use it.
I
don't know any lingo.
Maybe something about Python. Isn't Python a language? And then maybe you could like reference your muscles somehow.
Oh, I was going a different direction with that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Python it's a language. It's used in the web a lot. I need to think. Gosh, I don't have a pun right off the top of my head. I'm not a Tinder all-star like you guys.
But computers.
I do.
Similar to that.
I'm trying to. I was going with a database joke, but I'm coming up empty.
Well, if you think of one, Skype me later, and I'll give it a go.
Anyway.
I bet she's gonna be, if I do end up dating or going on a date with that girl, there's something less intimidating about pretty girls who are into stuff like that, because you know that there's something goofy about them.
How old is
there's
she?
gonna be something eccentric. How old is she?
Yes.
22.
Could this be Taylor's ex-girlfriend? I know. I jump way ahead of where I'm supposed to.
Way ahead. We haven't even met up yet.
But I know. Look. I self-admitted that. I'm with you. But you said recently that you were kind of shifting the target from one-night stands to, someone you actually have an emotional relationship with. And is that in your line of thinking? Like, hey, this one could be better or longer, I should say?
Kyle, asshole.
I wasn't sure if it's true.
I've definitely in the last month or so, really up to the echelon of the swiping, of really trying to not be like, okay, well, this Kyle, you're such a cunt, doing the endearing nod at me, because it's not true. You don't know what you're talking about. When I first started it was fucking bananas. Just it's all pink on the inside, baby. Yeah, let's get this going. But I really kind of want to find a really, really cute 21, 22, 23-year-old that would be fun to date. And if there's just something in my head that's telling me someone who's that into software engineering, who's a cute girl as well, or computer science or whatever, who's a cute girl, she's gonna be a little goofy, because most cute girls don't. No, I'm saying that's good.
Yeah,
it's good. It means that she's a little eccentric. She'll be kind of fun. I guarantee I can get this bitch playing Magic off after the first date.
I'm excited
And
about this one.
I might try it.
Because at first when you were saying she's a little bit goofy, a little bit off, a little bit, I interpreted it as imperfect. Like she's a little flawed in some way, but that's not what you're saying. It's almost
No, she'll just be more down to like nerdy shit. Like, so she'll be cool to play Magic, or she'll be cool to, you know, do some other goofy strategy game that I have. Like, that's usually
you could have those his and her battle stations on Reddit. There's karma in this for you.
Wow. I need to get on that train then. I'll buy her a desktop and we'll sit up next to each other. And
oh, you think she doesn't have a desktop? That's your thinking going into this?
That's true. I don't even have to buy her a desktop. No, she can build me a desktop. Yeah.
She probably could.
That's way better. If you could date a girl in any profession based on the utility to you, and you can't say prostitute, Kyle.
I like what
based on the utility to you.
I was going to say lawyer.
That's good, Kyle. I like that.
Gloria Allred, your eyes.
Fuck it, I'll date Mueller. Just get me out of this.
That's good.
I mean, who has a lawyer that doesn't bend him over?
Do you want to change that answer? Because that's a really good one for you.
Yeah, that's great.
I like that one.
You know what? I think I showed my age because my first thought was like, nurse? You know? Yeah. Right? Why couldn't it be
pretty soon I'm going to need someone to take care of me.
You know what I'd like to have more? Because I don't think I'm quite at nurse stage yet. How about a physical trainer? What if you know she was just down
that's a good one because she's going to be in great shape.
Yeah,
that's a double play right there because you could have some disgusting nurse like you know they're in the medical field, but that doesn't mean they're looking out for themselves when they go to get those $5 footlongs every day down at the kitchen.
Yeah, the only issue with physical trainer that doesn't fit with me, I'm a jealous man. I don't want her like earning a living at the gym in yoga pants every day. Surrounded
she's
by
like
buff guys.
A private trainer. Maybe she only works with ladies. Maybe you could impose that upon her and ruin her career.
Right? I was thinking to myself, like, if I dated a stripper, I'd need her to stop stripping right away. And then it's like, oh, but there's no overlap. Like, as soon as we start dating, you've got to ditch that job. I can't date a stripper.
Maybe this makes me a chauvinist bigot, but if a woman has made it to stripping, my interest is gone already.
Oh, Jesus.
Like,
you don't pick up women at the strip joint? Like that's
no, I would not want to date a stripper. Like, it would feel like you were, I don't know, like reading one of those books at the library that's so old. You're like, how many people have read this? Like, it doesn't even close on its own. It's just gaping. Like a gaping copy of Moby Dick. Like everybody has had their hands all over. I don't know. I wouldn't want that. The personal trainer one, that may be even better than the attorney one, because that is a guarantee. And I would be okay with her training men as long as it's in public and they're not like fucking, you know, training in some dude's bedroom at his house. Like, as long as it's a reputable organization, I don't give a fuck. Of course you're gonna have to train men too. I don't know why you'd want a female trainer as a man. Because I feel like a man would know more about how you want to build your body, but whatever. If she's making money, let her do it. 10 years from then, she's going to be in spectacular shape, and if you ever start to get fat, she'll let you know it through like probably not even roundabout passive aggressive shit that you'd usually get. Like,
she'll bring out the calipers and be like, "Look at this! Let me squeeze the inside of your thighs with this. What are you doing?
You big fat fuck! I can tell when we were having sex last night. You were just doughy. You big doughy man. You know what, Taylor? Come on, we're gonna go stand in front of the mirror, and you're gonna yell at yourself, and I'm gonna need scream encouragement."
Physical training is good, so this is people make fun of Pence for this line of thinking or what have you, but I feel like a part of relationships staying monogamous and working out and stuff is not just putting ungodly temptation all over it. There's a reason that so many Hollywood celebrities don't work out, because people are throwing themselves at them all the time, and they travel for their stuff. And you just put a hot guy, celebrity, rich, famous, and have women throwing themselves at them, and these far away, and it's a recipe for trouble. So you have a hot woman in yoga pants doing, like showing a guy how to lift his elbows or whatever, and 100% of those people are thinking about fucking her. And I just worry, I would be jealous.
I mean, I would maybe just get her like
That's
a
why
chastity
Woody's wife
belt.
works at home.
Yeah.
No, don't you go out. No.
It sounds crazy, right? But traveling salesmen have a lot of divorces and they cheat a lot. But that job, like, it's something that... Get a good IT man. Be nothing but stinky Indian dudes all around.
Get a good IT man.
Yeah.
That's not what I want, because eventually she'll start to get accustomed to the smell of those spices and she'll inevitably, be attracted to it somehow. Then I'll have to wear cumin all over my neck when I go out. No.
So what was your useful profession? Did you have one in your head, Taylor?
For the exact opposite reason of why personal trainer is so good, I was initially thinking, but only for a couple seconds, like professional chef.
Yeah,
I had that in my head.
That would be good, but then I was like, oh no, like she will eventually get fat. Like, how many name me one professional chef other than Rachel Ray, who's female, who didn't become a monster.
That Italian chick whose name I can't pronounce.
Haven't heard of her, so I don't count it.
You only haven't heard of her because her name's so difficult to pronounce. Let me find. Oh, she's so fucking hot.
Isabella Mario.
And
Not
I'm looking
Italian.
at Rachel Ray 2017 because I don't... She's fat. She does... Right,
is she fat now? Point proven.
Dude, yeah.
She's 51.
Oh,
I mean...
Really? I didn't mean to be so harsh on a 51-year-old. Is that her actual age?
I believe so. This is my favorite chef.
All right, she's a little heavy now, but she's 51. That's fine. She's had a lot of food. I don't think she probably doesn't cook food that's that great.
She does. She's incredible. She's always got cleavage and she's got like perfect teeth and these big eyes and she's just like, yeah, the food is very good. And it's just cleavage. It's wonderful.
For her, she could serve me a burnt peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I would wolf it down happily and be like, wow, honey, this is great.
I thought we were talking about Rachel Ray for a second. We're talking about this woman. She is beautiful.
Yeah, she is.
She is my favorite. Here's another picture.
What? Did you find her name yet, or just images?
Her name's too hard to pronounce. You don't need that.
Yeah, no, she is a 10.
Yeah. I literally Googled hot Italian chef.
Google is amazing. Ever Google song lyrics? Like,
oh yeah, you'll get it right away.
But like, what gets me is the one, like, okay, Kid Rock has a song. I don't even know the name of it. But if you Google like song that goes bom ba da dom ba dom ba dom, they'll be like, oh yeah, you mean this one. And I'm like, how did you know that?
I'm going to have to start disagreeing with this whole line of thinking. Look at the hottest women of Food Network here. Look at this whole list of like really hot chicks on the Food Network.
But you could Google hottest women of like firefighting or construction or accountants, and they'd be hot, right?
But these are all chefs. Like anybody could be a fucking fireman.
Might be harder for girls,
except for wings.
Oh Jesus! Was fireman his thing that he wanted to be?
It's his dream. Yeah.
Wait, who wanted to be a fireman?
Wings wants to be a fireman very badly.
Wow, Rachel Ray
it's never too late.
Is loving that hot dog.
Yeah, her name is Giada De Laurentiis. That's the one that I was linking earlier.
I mean, all of these women are good looking, but who's...
Giada
There's 10 fat ones for every one of these.
I'm with Taylor. I think you're really playing with fire if you're getting a cook.
Yeah, because eventually she's going to get to the age where, first of all, you're going to let yourself go because you're going to be eating delicious food all the time. For every pound you gain, she's going to feel comfortable gaining a couple, and then before you know it, you're just a couple of fat, ugly folks who eat
she knows
all right.
a lot about cheese.
Yeah, she'd be interesting with cheese talk.
She'd put a real nice cheese board together for you.
She would. That would be a good one. Personal trainer seems like it's going to be hard to beat because you get a benefit and she gets a benefit, which is a double benefit for you because she looks better.
Mechanic.
Now, I don't want to derail the topic, but I just want to come back to this. Taylor said 2/3 of national spending goes to Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, and that was correct.
Nice. Ah, look at that.
Yeah.
There's one in my column. You know, correct.
Yeah, I don't know where. I read somewhere like 54% of it goes to military, and they must have been like to make that true. It would have to be like 54% of the part that's not those is military, because then it becomes about right. So, anyway,
by that point, like you're looking at a pie graph that like doesn't really make sense, but someone who likes that stats like, yep, mind made up. Like,
yeah, because the military spending about 15%, so it is a little more than half of the remaining third. But something really misled me. My mistake.
Oh, I have a good question for you. Oh yeah, we started late. What body part or parts are you most insecure about?
It's changed.
It's changed?
Yeah, it used to be my nose. That was the thing that was really on my head. I thought it was too big and stuff. And since then, like I've seen a lot of big noses where it's like that's not a death sentence. It's a proud nose. It's fine. Like
I see your silhouette. I don't think your nose is that big.
It's been broken a couple times. I'm genetically more handsome than this.
Just not physically.
Not physically. But
you should go get that $3,000 operation. You'd be super secure. You get a Tom Cruise nose going.
My nose doesn't.
You'll have
that's right. He had a big surgery. But yeah, the nose doesn't bother me too. You know what? I know. I was gonna say teeth because I've got the crooked bottom teeth, but even that, like, I don't love it. But I've grown accustomed to it. My neck. You can't see it on camera really, but in real life, and from the wrong angle, it's a little loose, and it's improved since I lost 20-some pounds. But it's probably my most insecure area.
That makes sense. Yeah, especially with your age, where like you start to notice that shit more, and you're like, this wasn't even something I knew I had to worry about.
Yeah, my father's is really bad, so I see my future, and he's also not really fat or anything. It's just a way that we age; it gets loose in our neck, and yeah.
You can always nip tuck that.
Maybe. One time, I don't think I ever talked about it on the show. I found this like, it's not Botox, but think of it as something else. It might have started with a K. But
collagen. No, that's a C.
No, it's a C. Anyway, they inject it, and it's supposed to like tighten that area, and it's like permanent, and fat dissolves from it. And I was like, that sounds like a scam. I'm gonna Google this, and it passed Google muster. You know, like the FDA has approved it for this purpose, and it's supposed to be effective, and all that stuff. So I went and I got it, and one, it hurt more than I thought. It was a lot of injections. Like it was one session, but call it 40 injections. Like
Jesus Christ,
45 maybe. Like
was Jackie doing these injections?
No, it was some.
This is an at-home thing.
It was a lady who also did Botox. So like she does all these like
a professional.
What's a skin injection? A subcutaneous? Like
yes.
Okay, so it was a tiny needle and a thin injection. And there were 15 needles, each one. They put like a third here, a third there, next needle. And I was like, all right, needles hurt, but whatevs. They hurt like more than you'd guess. And the stuff going in burns. And there's 45 of them. And it takes like 15 minutes of this fucking torture. It's probably like getting a neck tattoo, like in terms of discomfort.
I can feel the fat burning.
And then it was swollen, right? So now it's swollen and a little black and blue. There was a show where I wore neck makeup, so it just toned it down an edge, and I'm like, and then it starts getting better, and I'm like, is it just the swelling going away, or is my neck actually like? I can't tell if it's improved. Because on a scale of 1 to 10, they made me from like a 7 to a 5, and now I'm headed back to where I was, or whatever the numbers are. And it feels like improvement, but I don't know. Like you fucked it up before it got better. So, and in the end, and it wasn't cheap. It was like $1,200 or something. So
Christ.
yeah, and I was supposed to have like 3 sessions or something, and after the first one, I thought did nothing. That I stopped there, and it turns out losing weight was a way better way to handle it than to pay $1,200 to some woman. And
did she also read your palm?
No, but dude, so
did she have a cart that said "Ye old"? You know,
her smile, and when she talked, it was clear she used too much Botox on her like upper lip area.
Yeah,
and it just didn't instill a lot of confidence. Like, here's a woman.
Uses what's ever left over.
Guaranteed to have AIDS. You know, I just grab people's needles from wherever.
I'm looking great.
Yeah, but so when she talked, her upper lip was just, it didn't move enough. It wasn't natural.
No.
It was just numbed and
It's paralyzed.
yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Do you? Okay. And
like Bill Burr says, now she just looks like a young lizard.
she didn't look good. And I've always said this with plastic surgery, or even this Botox lady, you can't just compare her to like a version of her that moves well or whatever. You have to compare her to the imaginary one that didn't have it. You know, like to me, I saw her upper lip and it looked weird, and she probably would have looked better even if it was aged a bit, but moving naturally. But, you know, they say, oh, look at this woman with plastic surgery. What a mess she is. You know, she's 65. And the fact is she looks like a weird 40-year-old.
Yeah.
You know?
She just looked like a 40-year-old with probably fetal alcohol syndrome, or actually, more accurately, a little Bell's palsy on both sides of the face.
I was going to go there, yeah. And, yeah, so it's like weird 40-year-old, 65-year-old, you know, like I need to see both to tell you which one's better.
I like it. I like a weird 40-year-old. I'm all about some plastic surgery. I hooked up with this like 40-something-year-old lady one time, and she just had enormous fake tits, and it was like, these are much better than they would have normally been. These are excellent. These are excellent. And she already had big boobs, so you could tell this was not the ones that are like you touch them and like you feel like the implant is right below the skin, and that if you like poked them with a pin, it would literally start squirting saline. Like there was
saline? I always pictured it as like a Jello or like a something.
Used to be
denser.
silicone, I think.
So it is silicone again. So they started off with silicone, and then women's breast implants started leaking and poisoning them with silicone, and so then they went to saline, and they made that the industry standard. And now they're going back to silicone as the technology has advanced, and they no longer leak.
Well, let's make the tit bags thicker. Oh, Dr. Johnson.
Who would have thought of that?
You're in line for the Nobel. What? Obama got one, didn't do shit. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, you're fine. So, Kyle, which part do you dislike?
I don't know.
Pick a part.
My ears are very small.
Are they? Let me gawk at them. Some baby back bitch ears.
Not to give you
I wish my hands didn't do this thing. That's weird, you know. Especially
the tops
if
of your feet are quite hairy. That's where I would have gone.
See, that's a misconception.
Okay.
Taylor and I have discussed this at length. You're completely wrong about this. Say his feet are just as hairy, if not hairier. Like, look at this, people. Hang on, I'm trying to give you a good show here. We're
not seeing
it's not. I know you're not. I'm switching feet.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought that you finished.
Giving you foot number 2. Like, I'm trying to. Like, the fact that I can't. I mean, there's just not a lot of hair there. This is difficult. This is to put on this show.
Actually, they were hairier in my memory.
In
your memory, I think you've built them up to like Frodo Baggins level. Like I'm about to climb climb Mount Doom or something. But
he does have a lot of hair on the top of his toes, but it is not the freakish hair that I thought it was.
And I do trim it now sometimes too. Like I'll take my beard trimmer and just put it on 0.4 and
it is an easily solved problem, isn't it?
Yeah, very easy.
It's
because like when I
15
pull my
seconds
socks
once a month, and you're good. I'm sorry.
When I pull my socks on, it pulls the hairs backwards, and so after an entire day of wearing socks and shoes, it sort of aches and gets really painful.
I know.
So I've taken to trimming them down to nothing. Yeah.
If I wear tight Under Armour shirts, all my chest hair is like sticking out through the leg, like all my stomach, and it's not a good look. So I always wear the loose ones.
Oh, bet. What if somebody walked up and plucked one, and you're out and about, and someone plucked a hair, and then like made you instantly self-conscious about the fact that there's hair sticking through the shirt?
That'd really piss me off. If somebody
what
just
if a date did that?
Hair, it'd be the end of the date.
What if she didn't? No. Imagine how embarrassing this would be. Oh, you got a little tag or something right here. And you just had to go, oh, yeah, thanks for getting it.
You got it at the root. Yeah.
You got a little thread hanging out here. Doink. You just, thank you for getting it. Oh, you got a bunch. And she just doink, 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 doink. And you just have to, like take it, pretending like she's not plucking all the hair out of your chest.
If she hadn't figured it out after one, then that would be a nice weather vane that this date wasn't going to go anywhere. It's not very bright. A lot of tags on this shirt. In the front, in the chest area. Wow.
So
she grabbed a mole.
Before we wrap, I want to hear Taylor's insecurity area.
Yeah. It's self-imposed, but there's nothing else that even comes close. My fingernails. Like, I pick at my fingernails, like, when I get anxious. I don't even realize I'm doing it a lot of the time. Like, but I'll, tear them off. And, so they're all short and shitty. Like, if I kept it at, you know how Frodo's fingers look in Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
They don't look like that. Like, I don't know what the fuck he's doing, getting them that low. But, they're, none of my fingernails. I can't open packages of cheese that are, sealed. I can't open Ziploc bags very well. Yeah, see, that's what I want, is I want normal
Kyle has ideal
fingernails.
Yeah.
My fingernails are,
they're a little long right now.
I go out of... That's the only thing that, I go out of my way to hide sometimes. When I'm in public, I'll hold my hands away that, doesn't show that I, am a nail picker. It is probably not a huge deal because I never notice other people's nails unless, they're really gross or, really nice. I guess other people don't notice nails that are really nice, but I'll be like, God, how does that guy resist, not tearing his nails off? They get stressed out. God, lucky fuck. I bet he can open packages of chips, no problem. That, I don't know what it is. It just is humiliating to me, having shitty, weak person fingernails where, you can't stop. And I don't know why. I've done it ever since I was a kid. I will be totally absent-minded and realize, 5 minutes later, oh, shit, well, I just tore off, a centimeter or 3 of my fingernails, so I'm going to look like a fucking, idiot for the next few days every time somebody sees me sign something.
I used to bite mine as a kid. I used to bite them and tear them and stuff, and sometimes I would tear them into the quick, and it would be painful and stuff, and somehow I broke myself of that habit. The thing is, mine grow very quickly. I trimmed my nails 3 days ago to the point where there's no white showing at the tips, and now there's white showing at the tips, and I don't like it because if you're going to be touching, unless you're using the wings method and you're scratching the lower back of the woman, it's not ideal to have these if in a dating scenario. So
we've mocked the wings method, but are we sure there's nothing to it? I mean,
I've used the wings method. It works wonderfully up until the point where you go, I learned this from Wings of Redemption. And then they start laughing hysterically, and it totally breaks the mood. I've literally done that to 2 different women, a whole double handful, depending how big the woman is.
2 case studies, yeah.
But I just remember being like scratching her lower back and like, oh, that feels nice. And I'm like, yeah, I learned this from Wings of Redemption.
And you can do it the other way too. It doesn't have to be the claw. It can be the you
can go back.
That's the only benefit to these.
Play her like a banjo.
I could actively try to scratch when I'm fingering a girl and be uncomfortable, and there's nothing's gonna happen. I can't get it at all. I need, it is embarrassing. It's standing at my own counter with you know how cheese, Sargento sliced cheese, comes in that thing that you have to peel open. It is so aggravating for me to sit there and be like, fuck, until eventually I give up, get scissors, cut the entire thing off, and then just grab a slider Ziploc bag with the gallon size and just put the whole thing in there. That's my technique now because I can't get those goddamn things open.
I always have a knife on me. Always.
I just want. I mean, it's not the cutting of it that bothers me. It's the fact that after 3 minutes, I'm I've sunk 3 minutes into this fucking shit. Why can't I get this?
It's part of my hand.
Sargento cheese?
I don't know how people live without a multi-tool. I use it 5 times a day, it seems. It's just always there.
I can already see on the horizon what's going to be the thing that takes the place of the fingernails, maybe, and that's going to be back hair. That is going to be, like, I can see almost by the day.
Does your father have it?
Not like terrible, but he does have some, like not like a ton.
We have to fight the back hair encroachment. Come on, Taylor.
I've tried, like, I have enough like fuzz just all around, like on the back that like not like dark hair, you know, but like the fuzzy hair. But the dark hair that I get up here, like I'll like be in the mirror and just be like, all right, I'm gonna shave that, and then like I look at it and I'm like, fuck. But now I've shaved all the dark hair in that area, but it also got rid of all the like natural kind of peach fuzz, like little hairs that you have. And so now there's the surrounding area where there are those peach hairs. And what am I supposed to do now? I can't reach those areas.
You know what has to be done?
Waxing.
A regular waxing or electrolysis schedule.
Yeah. I'm just going to get electrolysis then. But I'm going to give it till I'm like maybe another 5 years to really see where this goes. I don't want to go in and get lasered all for naught.
You don't want the lasering. You want the electrolysis.
That's what it is, right?
I didn't know there was a difference. See, Kyle has expertise in this. Kyle, have you ever done it?
No.
But you've researched it.
I don't know. I just pick things up and I don't ever forget them. So they take that's just the truth. They take these tweezers that have like a wire running out of them connected to a machine, and they pinch each individual hair, and it sends an electricity into the hair and like burns out the root, and then they doink, pluck the hair out, and a hair never grows back there. And then they do that for each individual hair, one at a time.
It doesn't sound painful at all.
Quite painful.
I mean, as long as it's only a one-time thing, I would do that.
It would be a one-time thing, yeah.
Not for me.
Yeah, I want to say, like let's say Taylor does it at 26, right? 31-year-old Taylor. There's new hairs that have cropped up, right?
Sure, you might continue to grow this back hair, but they'll never go back in the same spot, I guess is what I was getting at.
Oh, good. It's just a constant game of expensive hide and seek.
Yeah, no, whack-a-mole. Whack-a-mole for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Let me see how much it costs. I'm curious. Let's see. Wow, still got this Giada chick up here. She's really hot. How much does electrolysis cost? You can get an at-home electrolysis machine? That's just a recipe for disaster.
Fun for the whole family.
$30 for a 15-minute session. Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, no, that is. I thought he was going to be somewhere in the Woody Neck realm, you know, like $1,200 and this problem solved.
$88 an hour. Yeah.
I bet for $88, this is just a solved problem. You need to resist the urge to shave for a month so they have something to work with, and then get it done.
And then see if you can get them to do like other things too. Like I've seen pornos, well not pornos, but like porn videos where these perverts will like have a hidden camera and they'll go and like get their dick and balls waxed because they're into that, and they've got a hard on, and then like halfway through it when she like goes to get more like wax or whatever, he's just like like coming really quickly while she's out of the room to grab something. It's these guys.
Not my kink. Not my kink.
No, right? Like he's just really getting off on this chick, ripping all the hair out of his balls, and like as soon as he gets his moment, he's like 30 seconds from just coming. He's just that was great.
I saw a Always Sunny in Philadelphia clip on Reddit. You might have seen it too recently. You know the ski one where they're like, we're gonna play a prank on these girls. We cut a hole. Now we can see them all naked in the shower. They cut a hole in the wall. Yeah. And they're like, that's not a prank. That's kind of voyeur, like sexual assault. Yeah. No. I got to get my dick hard and I got to put it through the hole. It's great. And they're like,
what a hoot. Yeah.
But that literally is the kind of stuff they did in those like 80s ski movies. You know?
Yeah, like Porky's.
Yes.
Classic prank. Yeah, Porky's. What a degenerate film that was.
Yeah. Young Woody saw all those and just they were right next to porn in my head.
Yeah.
They were on like Skinamax and anyway. Wrap? Call it a show?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Painkiller Nearly, episode 174. I thought it was a good one.